What's up YouTube, this is Argon here. Today I'm bringing you a brand new video, and a little bit of something different than we've been doing before, and it's I hope you're excited about it because I'm really excited to bring it to you today. In today's video we're going to be going over a topic that gets discussed endlessly and there's no resolution for it. If you've been a fan of Call of Duty for a long time, you would know that there's also a professional Call of Duty scene. The professional players at Call of Duty are considered to be the best in the game. Naturally, they're professionals. You got other people that play regular lobbies like the rest of us, like the majority of us, who are absolute beasts at the game. So the natural discussion is, if you're so good at Call of Duty, why aren't you playing professional? Well, there's a lot of reasons as to why that's the case, but we're not going to really talk about a lot of those today. But what I'd like to do is talk about two super popular players, one pro and one pub stomper, and that's Optic Scump and the Mark J. And the question I want to ask is, who would win in a gunfight between the two? We can use statistics, and we can use all the data we have at our disposal to figure out who's actually better at Call of Duty. Let me take that back. We can figure out who would have better accuracy and would be most likely to win in a one-on-one gunfight. So let's get right into it. So let me tell you a little bit about how I decided to go about this. What I did was, I went and grabbed two videos each from Mark J and from Optic Scump's channel, and I tried to find, well, all of Mark J's videos are really good, where he's just trying really hard to win. Optic Scump has his 70 kill challenge series where he goes for 70 kills in TDM, so I thought those would be good examples of really hard effort games in order to see how good they were playing. I went back to Black Ops 3 because that was the last game where they were both most active and most try-hard. I know neither of them have been pushing really hard for public matches on Infinite Warfare, so I didn't think that would be a good example to pull from. So I went down to these videos and literally went frame by frame during every single gunfight, and what I did was I counted how many times they were actually getting hits versus how many bullets they were firing, and in this way I could figure out what their accuracy was. Now, before we get going, I really want to talk about what it takes to be a good shot at Call of Duty, and you've got kind of two aspects of it when it comes to actual accuracy. The first thing is called first shot accuracy. So what that is when the player sees an enemy, how long it takes him to shoot his gun before he actually registers a hit marker. That will measure for me how good they are at snapping on target. The second measurement I want to measure, because to me they're two totally different things, is what I'm calling lock-on accuracy. So lock-on accuracy is after they've hit their first shot, theoretically they've nailed their target. So how good are they at holding aim when they're already on target? So that's what lock-on accuracy is. Now these definitions you can see are on the screen. Again, first shot accuracy is the number of shots fired before the first hit marker is recorded. The second measure is lock-on accuracy. Now that's the number of shots fired after the first hit until a kill is recorded. So again, that's number of shots fired until the first hit marker, and then the number of shots fired between the first hit marker and the kill. And finally on the screen, I'm defining an engagement. This is a pretty common definition. It's basically a gunfight between the player and an enemy. So I wanted to break it down a little bit further than that, because obviously there's many different kinds of gunfights, especially in the more recent Call of Duties where there's advanced movement. These definitions that you see now are breaking down the different kinds of gunfights because they obviously are going to vary in difficulty. And it will also tell us a little bit about the player's play style as well. So the first measurement is boots on the ground. Now this is where the player and the enemy are both on the ground moving around, whatever they're doing, but nobody's flying. The other is called dogfighting. That's an air-to-air combat. That's where both players are and the enemy are in the air at the same time. The next category is enemy in the air. Now that's when the player himself is on the ground and he's shooting at a moving target that's in the air. Pretty self-explanatory. And the final one would obviously be the only last category, would be enemy on the ground. Now that is where the player himself is flying through the air and the enemy is on the ground during an engagement. So now let's get into the raw numbers. On the screen here now you see overall accuracy for Mark J and Optic Scump. Now basically what I did was I calculated all the shots and I calculated an overall accuracy for all those four categories among different types of weapons and all that sort of thing. So as you can see, these guys are almost neck and neck. So at the very bottom row, I recorded 92 engagements for each person because statistically speaking, when you're approaching 100 samples, you're not exactly accurate, but you're getting okay. You know, that's a reasonable sample size. So for first shot accuracy, both Mark J was at 48.36%, while Optic Scump was slightly higher at 49.4%. And lock-on accuracy, now again, that's after they've hit their first hit marker until they get the kill, is 56.41 for Mark J and 59.14 for Scump. When it comes to boots on the ground engagements, the Market J's first shot accuracy is right around his overall accuracy, which is 48.9%. And Scumpy's is actually quite a bit higher at 59.17% for first shot accuracy. That means there's a 10% difference between Market J's first shot accuracy and Optic Scumpy's, which in reality, Optic Scumpy actually has a 20% better first shot accuracy than Market J. And when it comes to the lock-on accuracy, you see the same differential, with Market J coming in at 49.26%, with Scumpy coming in at 57.9%. And in this category, I was able to record 58 engagements from Market J, while 56 from Scumpy. Now, these are pretty close, so that's good. The next category is dogfighting. Again, this is an air-to-air combat, and here you can see a drastic difference in these guys' first shot accuracies. 44.51% for Market J and 68% for Optic Scumpy, and the disparity continues moving forward into the lock-on accuracy measurement. 48.78% for Market J for 72.44% for Optic Scumpy. That's 3 out of 4 shots. Now, I'm going to caveat this whole measurement because I personally would throw it out the window. For both these guys, you can see the sample size is very small. 11 for Market J and 5 for Optic Scumpy. So that would easily, for Scumpy at least, the stats can be easily skewed. Unfortunately, I didn't have enough data to go off of in the recordings that I was able to get. Moving right along into the next category, this is enemy in the air. So this is where the player is on the ground again, and the enemy is flying through the air. And as you can see, they pretty much have similar stats. And we have a pretty low engagement value. So again, this is sort of a whatever situation, but you can see they're roughly the same. So again, this is maybe not the best sample size for this type of conclusion. So let's just take it with a grain of salt. The final category is air to ground. This is where the player himself is flying and his enemy's on the ground. So in this category, you can see that Market J edges out Scumpy in the first shot engagement with a 51.38% first shot accuracy to Optic Scumpy's 48.3% first shot accuracy. These are kind of close, but J gets the advantage here. And in terms of lock-on accuracy, you see a big gap again between Scumpy and J, where Scump's at 60.73% while J is at 52.49%. And that's quite a bit larger, actually. He's about 15% better than Market J once he's hit his first hit. Now, if you stack first shot accuracy and lock-on accuracy together, the actual gap becomes a little bit smaller because even though Market J isn't as good at holding targets as Scumpy, he hits his target faster, so the time to kill is probably similar. Now again, this is a little bit better statistics because I was able to get a larger sample size between Market J and Scump, but this is 17 engagements for J and 24 engagements for Scump. I decided to take this analysis one step further because I didn't want to just break it down into types of gunfights. I also wanted to see if there was a specific type of gun that these guys are better at using. What I decided to do is in the games that I watched to record what type of weapon they were using, and then I would gather the stats for all the different types of gunfights and I would compile the accuracies that way. One gun that they both used in these videos was the Kuda. In the Kuda category, Market J, you can see on the screen right here, far exceeds Scumpy. He's got 53.51% first shot accuracy and almost 57% lock-on accuracy over 29 engagements, while Scumpy recorded a 35.5% first shot accuracy with about a 45% accuracy once he's locked onto his target, and this is recorded over 41 engagements. So in this situation, if they were armed with the Kuda, under any fighting circumstances, I would expect Jay to come out on top. Moving right along, I did gather some data from these guys. In one video, Market J was using a Vesper, and in another video, Scumpy was using his precious VMP. Check out these guys' accuracy plummeting because they're using these high rate of fire, high recoil weapons. Now, first shot accuracy, they're pretty much tied. 39.17% for J, 38.84% for Scump. While lock-on accuracy, however, so this is pretty scary, as soon as these guys lock on, they're deadly. 60.34% to 57.64% for Scump. This is pretty much a wash. 31 engagements for J, 25 engagements for Scump. They're almost similar when it comes to using these fast SMGs, so it's really going to come down to who knows, honestly. And in the final category of weapons, I wanted to look at assault rifles and who would be a better shot at assault rifles. And guys, this is where it gets crazy. So in one video, Market J is using a KN-44 and he is destroying everybody. And in another video, Scump is using a Man of War and he's destroying everybody. And it wasn't until I recorded all the information on Scump that I saw how amazing this man's accuracy is. Take a look at these numbers. It is insane. His first shot accuracy with the Man of War is 81.54%. Now, lock-on accuracy is not any worse. 83.08%. His time to kill is ridiculously fast with the Man of War. I measured this over 26 engagements. Now, Mark J's no slouch. 52.6 on his first shot and 52.09 on his lock-on accuracy. Measured over 32 engagements. Scump absolutely destroys in this category. And this is pretty much what edges him out on top. So when I go back to the overall accuracy, keep in mind that he blew him out of the water on this one. And that's probably what skewed the stats in his favor. If you took Man of War out of this discussion, Jay probably has better accuracy by a few points over Scump. So I wanted to close with saying who would win if we put these guys together. Now, granted, all this flies out the window if we could actually get them in a one-on-one situation, because what I'm not factoring in is how they would perform in that situation when they know they're going against a really good player. That might change the way that they play as opposed to playing randoms in a pub. But the data we have is based on public matches, so assuming they went in on an alias and didn't know who each other was, and these guys could run into each other in a random lobby, I'm going with Scump. I have to. Because yes, he blew him out of the water with the Man of War, but I'm going back into more how they engage with enemies when it comes to their gunfight skills. Mark J's accuracy is generally lower when he's fighting an enemy that's in the air, and Scumpy's movement on the map is very rapid. He's really good at moving around and making himself a hard target to hit. So for that reason, I have to go with Scump. What I saw from Mark J's play, he's playing a lot on the ground, he's only jumping when he needs to, and he's playing more of that pub stomp mentality, which is zoning areas off, staring at a spawn area, and waiting for people to come out. Versus Scumpy, who is extremely aggressive, and he will go all the way across map. There's fights where he's cross-mapping people with a Kuda, where he's wall running down in the middle of a map, flying through the air with a VMP. He'll spin shot somebody and that sort of thing. Finally, what I wanted to add was, the other reason I go with Scump is because these stats, I believe, are a little bit skewed, and not just because of the sample size, but from watching Scumpy, he doesn't shy down from a gunfight as frequently as Mark J. Scumpy will challenge a lot of gunfights, and he'll do a lot of pre-firing. He'll do a lot of firing through walls, whatever he needs to do. And that comes from his competitive background, where he's focused on every kill matters, versus Mark J, where every kill is the same to him. If he's playing team deathmatch, there's no benefit to killing a specific person. It only matters that you kill a person. So if you can't hit a guy, you turn around, you kill somebody else. It's the same point. Now, there is way more we can go into this. There's plenty other statistics that I can go into recording, and we can get even further in depth on these guys. We can do more samples. We can do different types of weapons. We can do different types of weapons and different types of engagements. But I just wanted to put this video out there initially and see if you guys liked it. If you do, please do let me know in the comments below what you think, and if you'd like to see some more data collected, or if you'd like me to do this on other types of players, other pro players versus other pub stompers versus pub stompers. Just give me some feedback. I'd really like to know how you feel about this video. So again, guys, my name is Argon. I really do hope you liked this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you later. Bye.